First impressions matter, and in a restaurant, that means the menu.
The menu sets the tone for the restaurant that they are in.
Sean Willard is a menu engineer at the company Menu Engineers, and something happened during COVID.
The pandemic surely brought us about 10 years ahead with QR codes.
Look, some people never want to touch a laminated menu ever again, and other people hate the QR codes that take you to a digital menu. And both camps want to know, will the QR code kill the menu? We're running down the pros and cons, starting with flexibility. Take these supply chain challenges you've been hearing about.
For a barbecue restaurant that we worked with in Nashville, sourcing brisket became a really difficult challenge. There were these wild price fluctuations.
With a printed menu, you'd have to list that item as market price.
But what we know from our research and time in the field is that when people get market price, they often steer away from that item because it might create some awkwardness at that point of ordering.
So printing market price in a menu is a lose-lose. The restaurant loses orders, and people lose out on ordering something they might easily afford but just don't want to ask how much it costs. So
the digital menu allows us to adapt more easily.
So score a point for the QR code. Next, digital menus allow easy sortability of menu items.
The wonderful thing about digital menus is you can go in and search and filter by specific dietary needs.
So if you're a diehard vegan,
it prevents you from having to scroll through the carcasses of dead animals.
That sounds delicious, but printing menus for all these niche eaters could get onerous.
It's uncommon, right? This might be 1 in every 50 guests wants this menu that's specific to them, whether it's gluten-free, vegetarian, any of these dietary restrictions.
But filtering a digital menu is easy and cheap, and
it makes it a little more special for that guest.
That's another point for the big QR. Finally, restaurant owners need to control their online menus.
For example, Uber Eats, DoorDash, all these platforms have different iterations of that restaurant's menu.
Third-party delivery services will scrape whatever version of your menu they can find.
And so operators need to make sure that their best items are showing through, that their brand is showing through. It's a real challenge.
Especially for mom and pops.
Some of the larger companies have entire departments dedicated to that, but for independent restaurants, it can be a really big operational challenge managing where your menu is shown and distributed.
That's a point for digital menu management in general, so we're calling that another point for the QR code. So this is a landslide. The QR code is going to totally replace the printed menu, right?
A hybrid model is definitely best.
Meaning both printed and digital menus, because
we want to appeal to a wide general public. Is my mother or my grandparents willing to interact with digital menus? And usually the answer is no. They want a print menu.
So maybe someday menus will be all digital, but that future is a long way off. The future of menus is at the top of the list.